Hello everyone, welcome to Hans Garage. Today we are going to learn how to ride a motorcycle together. And in this video, I am going to go back and forth from a cruiser bike to a sport bike just to see what the differences are. And if you're trying to figure out which one is more suitable for you, keep on watching this video and I will try to explain as much as possible. So let's begin. Alright, I'm going to go over major differences between a sport bike and a cruiser bike. So for this type of cruiser bike, this engine is really big. It's 1300 cc, which means it's really heavy. So a cruiser bike, usually it's heavier, slower, but really comfortable. So you can ride for a long period of time. You can do a lot of road trips. Whereas for a sport bike, it's extremely light, very quick accelerations, but very uncomfortable for a long period of time. So if I were to compare these motorcycles to a car or a truck, this right here will be an 18-wheeler truck. Very heavy, very slow. Not so fun, but fun enough since it's a motorcycle. And this will be M3 S4 because the engine's not so big. This one is a 696 cc and it only tops at 137 miles per hour. So if you were to get a bigger engine, let's say Ducati Panigale 1299, that would be a Ferrari of the motorcycles. I'm going to show you how I look like sitting on a cruiser bike. It's like I'm sitting on a couch. I can even take a nap on the way, like this. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. You could ride for hours, no problem. And if I were to sit on a sport bike, I have to lean over to the front. And I can't even take a nap on the ride. Maybe I can nap like this. It's not so comfortable though. Alright, so on the right side of the motorcycle, you have your rear brake and front brake. This is your front brake and rear brake that you have to use your right foot to press down. On the left side, we have high beam, low beam, menus for the dashboard, left signal, right signal, cancel, horn to scare people away, and there's a high beam flicker on this side. And on the left side, you have your clutch lever to shift gears, and you have your gear shifter. Whenever you shift gears, you have to pull in the clutch first, and then shift down or shift up, down, up, and then you can release the clutch. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys how to turn the engine on for the cruiser bike, and most cruiser bikes have the key switch on the side. Alright, so I'm going to turn on the dashboard, and before you start the engine, you have to be in neutral. So there's the indicator right here that turns on green if you're in neutral. And in order to do that, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the gearbox. So you have to pull in the clutch, and all the motorcycle gearbox have the first gear as the lowest. So you shift all the way down, this is the lowest, and half click up is neutral. And as you can see, the green light indicator just turned on, which means I am in neutral right now, so I can turn on my engine. Alright, once you've put your gear into neutral, you can turn on the cut-off switch and then start the engine. To turn off the kill switch. This is the engine cut-off switch. So if you turn this on, you can start the engine. If you turn this off, the engine will shut off. Alright, as for the sport bike, the key switch is right here. Turn the dashboard on. Make sure I'm in neutral. The green light just turned on. Turn on the cut-off switch and start the engine. And turn off the cutoff switch, the engine shuts off. Alright, I want to come back to the clutch lever and explain how to release the clutch lever when you are in gear. So far we've learned that you have to be in neutral in order for you to start the engine, and you have to pull in the clutch while you shift your gears up or shift down. I'm going to explain a little bit more detail about the gearbox. So all the motorcycle gearboxes, they start off all the way in the bottom is the first gear, and then half click up is neutral, and then another half click up is second. So when you're on the road and you're in first gear and you're riding, if you want to go up to second gear, you just have to press all the way up in that second gear, and then third, and then fourth, and then fifth, and so on. So let's say the engine is on right now and you want to get going. You've pulled in the clutch and you've shifted down to first gear. And as you release the clutch, you want to release the clutch very, very slowly. And doing so, you can figure out where your engagement point is from the clutch and to the motor. So your motor is spinning regardless. As long as it's on, it's going to spin all the time. And when you pull in the clutch, you're disengaging the clutch from the motor and you shift, and you're in first gear. And when you release the clutch, you want this meet to happen very, very smoothly. You want them to hug each other, not punch each other. So when you release the clutch too fast while you're in first gear, two other things will happen. If you are not giving gas at the same time as you're releasing, you're going to stall. And if you release too quick and give gas at the same time, you're either going to launch or do a wheelie, or you might flip yourself over if your bike is strong enough and hurt yourself really, really bad. And you don't want that to happen. So all throughout the gears, you want to figure out where your engagement point is. And for this particular bike, it's towards the end. So what I do is I pull in just enough so that I can switch my gears and then release very slowly towards the end. So right now I'm going to show you, I'm going to turn on the engine and put it into first gear and start to slowly let go, and you will see how my motorcycle will move towards the end. Alright, so I'm going to turn on the motorcycle right now, and then I'm not even going to give gas. I'm just going to release the clutch very, very slowly in first gear, and you will see that my motorcycle will start to move towards the end. So I'm putting in neutral now, turning the dashboard on, and start the engine. So as you can see, my engagement point is about right there, and my motorcycle starts to move. So figuring out where your engagement point is very, very important when you're riding your motorcycle. Alright, once you are confident enough to know where your engagement point is, you want to start to open up your throttle very slowly at the same time. But let's just say you're not quite confident yet to get on the road, and you want to still practice learning how to opening up your throttle. What I would suggest is putting into neutral mode and then just playing around with the throttle. And you can rev it up a little bit because you're not going to move. But essentially you want to open it up very, very slowly and gradually, and watch your RPM go up very slowly, because that's exactly what it's going to look like on the road, and you're going to speed up very slowly. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn on the engine, put it into neutral mode, and then play around with the throttle, and you can watch how my RPM go up very slowly. And I'm going to show you what not to do while you're in gear and opening up the throttle. Alright, right now we are in neutral mode and we're not going anywhere. So watch my RPM, how I open up. You can act like you are in gear and start to play with your clutch at the same time, so release and gas at the same time. And you never want to do this. You never want to do that. Alright, once you feel better about the clutch engagement point and opening up your throttle, I suggest getting on the road and doing stop and go, stop and go. You could do it in a parking lot, going up to about 10 to 15 miles per hour and then stop. 10 to 15 miles per hour and then stop. Because first gear will be the hardest. And once you get the hang of first gear, all the other gears will be easy for you. So that's pretty much it, and get on out there and start practicing. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Please ride safe and get a lot of practice done. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and subscribe for upcoming videos. I'll see you guys next time.